Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Alexander Hilly 123 here, and it's time for the Aftermath chapter in my Callisto Protocol Contagion post-commentary walkthrough. And yeah, your eyes aren't deceiving you, this really is 47 minutes in length. Surprise, motherfucker. Get ready to dodge this guy. I think he might always go in for a 2-hit combo as you open the door, but if you forget about this guy, he's going to hit you hard on the harder difficulties. Oh. Now, there's one of the occasions where I can explain why I've been damaged. You are going to see that quite a bit, but you can learn from it. But look at that. What's that? 40% of my health just gone there? Absolutely fucking insane. Absolute fucking pile of shite. But yeah, there's a lot of meat and gravy in this chapter, ladies and gentlemen. The only way I wanted to do this was one video per chapter. And some of the chapters are quite long, but for this kind of project, it's best to do it like this. But look at this. NPC rushing us along. How often have we spoke about this? Devs, stop it. We're trying to get some loot in this room. Stop rushing the gamer. You're achieving nothing, devs. So stop it. Am I right, guys, or am I right? I'm right. You'll get 8,000. I wish you got 8,000. You get 800 credits here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why it's so many, but we use those credits to always buy the hand cannon. You have to do this. And now we can shoot the enemies, and there is a quick snap option in this game. When you melee an enemy, sometimes you'll hear a noise, you'll see a little icon on the enemy's body. That basically means you can get a quick shot in and damage them further with the gun. I like it. It's one of the best elements of this game, gameplay-wise. Now, as you can see there, the health injectors, they sell on Hardcore and Contagion for 33 credits. On Easy, Normal and Hard, it's 100. So you only get a third back from selling your health injectors. And obviously, like we mentioned in the prior video, all the conductors, as I call them, because I think it's Dead Space, they're always halved as well. I like that. I think that's a really good idea from the devs. So, let's see what we're going to do here. The upgrades in this game are very simple, but my lord, they make a big difference. It might be very simple, but trust me, you'll be glad of these upgrades. Without them, in hardcore mode, you'll see. I wouldn't want to put a prediction or a guesstimate, but I'm going to do so. Maybe on hardcore, never mind on easy, normal, hard. Even compared to Contagion, I bet you can only upgrade 30% of what you can on Contagion. It's absurd. So what are you going to not upgrade? If you don't upgrade the baton, you're going to be fighting. Sometimes you'll be fighting certain tankier enemies like that motherfucker who just ran off for like a minute or something, honestly. Hitting them like 30-40 times with a baton. It's ridiculous. It's like I said in the prior video, it showcases the weakness of the game's gameplay, in my opinion. There's a snapshot. Maybe this guy's got less HP. Look at that, he drops a pristine energy converter. Alright, bruv. So we get a tutorial about sneak killing here, stealth killing, quick killing. And there's a chapter later where there's kind of the enemies are just the same. They're these normal shit-munching zombie enemies, but I can't remember the name of them, but they're like older and they're blind. But I call them the Mike Tyson enemies, because those guys, if you get involved in fisticuffs with them, they are masters of hand-to-hand combat. They're good at fighting, they're vicious as hell, but they are blind and you're just meant to stealth kill them all. And the game allows you to do that for a long time and it becomes quite boring. We'll speak about that later. But look at this. Look at that whiff. You see that whiff? Not got the arm breaker yet, so he's blocked it. There's a quick shot. Feet up, mate. Why not? You deserve it. And look at that. He drops health. He drops health when I'm on max health. He could have dropped a conductor or some shit. Are you kidding me? Coming down here is another area where you don't necessarily have to come down here. I think I decided to do so, though, just for the extra resource. I had a look on speedrun.com, and you know people have criticised this game's gameplay. Oh, it's so easy. If it was that easy, have a look how many speedruns there are of Hardcore and Contagion. I know this game isn't well liked, but every game that isn't well liked in the world has a lot of fans and people who do genuinely like those games. Whatever game you may think, and this game is no different, and there's people out there who really enjoy this game. But the majority of the speedrunners, nearly all of them, do New Game Plus on easy difficulty. And New Game Plus on the easiest difficulty tends to be the category that people run the most. And any speedrun is good in any game because it takes a strong mind to speedrun a game, especially when you can lose hours of progress. But for me, I've always liked speedruns on harder difficulties where there's an intensity because you can die. But on easy difficulties, you might not die if you mess strategies up, but you're losing time, and that's the ultimate thing. That guy has no head, and he's still attacking me. Absolute fucking pile of shite. So as you can see there, we're fighting two enemies at the same time. I must have taken damage there because I've lost health. That happens so often in this game, ladies and gentlemen. You take damage and it's like, did I take damage there? You're always looking on the back of Jacob's neck. I mean, you can't help it really, but I'm always anxiously looking. But listen to that audio in the background, that ambience, those strings just gently in the background, but it's anxiety inducing. Remember that was in Resident Evil 3 Remake all the time during the Raccoon City part. But yeah, this game's graphics, glorious. The audio design, glorious. The voice acting, pretty damn good. There's some good things about this game. It's serviceable, but I think this game sold just over 2 million units. I think that's what Dead Space 2 did. I think that's what Dead Space Remake did. There is a ceiling for these kinds of games, ladies and gentlemen, if their name isn't Resident Evil. Probably Evil Within 1 got that amount of sales as well. And then Evil Within 2 bombed, apparently. Like, it sold a couple of 100,000 units. Obviously, the game was watered down for casuals, but the casuals loved it. I don't know. Apparently, Alan Wake 2 sold over 1 million units, and that's the biggest Remedy game ever, so it just shows you single-player, story-based games, especially survival horror ones, they're up against it, man. And in the next 12-18 months, where's the next AAA survival horror? Don't even get me started about fucking Bloober Team and Silent Hill. That is going to be shit. I'm sorry, but it is. Those guys don't deserve to be working on that game. Anyway, do as I've done there, and you'll be fine. Crouch just as you're going into this room, and this prick won't hear you. And give him a London shanking to the back of the dome. God, that feels satisfying. But yeah, the chapter later on, I think it's the Below chapter. You are killing the Mike Tyson enemies for ages. And you can get some good loot off them. You've just got to be careful. Because if they hear you, it might seem like you're exploiting the game and it's really easy. But if one of them hears you, and there's loads of them on you, you're going to get surrounded. You'll be dead within seconds. But I still recommend doing it because they drop a lot of credits, even on Contagion. Maybe on Hardcore you just want to avoid them all. You what, bruv? Doing this over 3 sessions, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first session tonight. This is my last video I'm narrating on, and then 2 videos tomorrow. And then 3 videos on Tuesday evening on the 20th of February. And then on the Wednesday, the 21st, this should start to be uploaded. And then, I think it's... boom. You see that, ladies and gentlemen? If you know an enemy's on the ground... Ooh. Explain that, game. Explain how he's just attacked me there. I don't get that. So we got attacked there. And I don't know why. This game's gameplay is so damn complex, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, these washing machines here, don't open them. There is one of the little creatures inside. If those guys get you, they deal some absurd amounts of damage. And a little later, I think it's the next chapter after this one, you're going through these narrow corridors and all this machinery. And those enemies can jump at you. And initially, I didn't even know this, but you can use a GRP to launch them back. But the GRP is obviously incredibly limited in this game. Speaking of limited, look at the inventory. It's already full. Crazy. But I think it was on my first hardcore playthrough or my first Contagion playthrough. I was nearly getting killed by those things jumping at me, but I had no ammo to protect myself. So there was nothing I could do. I know there'll be someone out there nodding their head in agreement with me. Because they've been in the same situation. I have no ammo, but these things are jumping at me. What do you want me to do, game? Oh my god, and there's... We're going to call them, ladies and gentlemen. Quite perverse, but we're going to call them the phallic monsters. You need to know where those guys are. Because on your first playthrough, they're going to grab you and they're going to annoy you. The first one is coming up soon. We'll speak about them when we see them for the first time. But anyway, that room there, where I was just about going to go down, that's the path we need to take for game progression. Now, we are full here, as you can see, and this game, like I've already said, is ultra-linear. However, I'm looking at my inventory now, knowing that there's a secret room, and I end up not going to it, and going this way as well. As you can see, there's an enemy, there's also another enemy. I engage them in a fight because I think, you know what, I'll take them on. It's a risk, obviously. Any fight in this game that you encounter, you do. But you know you can miss, potentially. He's giving yourself an extra chance to be killed. But I've committed now, and the reason I've committed is because I want the pristine energy converter for a bit more loot. But you see that vent? You go down there and you go to a secret room, but it's not worth it. There you go. There's that trick again. It's not much of a trick, but I do like to do that. Oh, what the fuck? That's me. I should be dodging there, and I'm not. I don't know why I'm not. Ooh, that's lucky. That's lucky, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do that. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm telling you. What am I doing? However, that does work. That does work. If they're going to attack you, shoot them and then attack them first. You're going to lower the HP. And it puts you on the front foot. But if there's 2 enemies, the other enemy that you're not fighting can hit you in the meantime. I wonder if the devs realised that the gameplay would be such a shitstorm when they made this game. I think I'm going to do the same here. I think I try and get a quick shot off because I've done it before and it works and it looks cool and, like I say, it puts you on the front foot. But I think I ridiculously missed the shot and get fucked up. Let's see if I'm right. Oh no, I got him. But as you can see, he's blocking that attack. We need to get that arm breaker, ladies and gentlemen. That's the shot I missed. And that's inexplicable again. You could avoid these attacks, ladies and gentlemen. That's my motivation for you guys in this playthrough. If I can play this shit and upload this. And he only died about 3 or 4 times. I think it's 4 times overall. And you can too. 2 of my deaths were to the insta-kill. 1 of my deaths was to the 2-head boss fight. The 2-head boss fights are so plain and vanilla. the main key mechanic seems to be the jank of the game. It's like, it's hilarious. All you do is run away from them and shoot your gun in a panicked way. And a lot of time you get killed because Jacob runs against a wall or there's growth on the floor and he won't sprint. It's infuriating, it's stupid, and it's kind of hard to understand what the devs were thinking. But yeah, the two-head fights, I think you've got to fight him like 3 or 4 times, and the one on the Argus tram or train or whatever, that's the best one. And then they just get worse from there. Really peculiar. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got the GRP, and obviously it's fun to fling enemies with kinesis, and launch them into spikes. It's incredibly limited in this game though. Now I'll just tell you guys a little something. You don't need to fight the enemies in this room. You can kill this guy and then quickly escape. I didn't know this until I watched, I can't remember his name. He's a fellow British gentleman, the guy who released the walkthrough for Contagion. He also did one for Hardcore, so he did one for Hardcore and Contagion. Fantastic. I've watched his Contagion one, but I've not watched the Hardcore one. Ooh, look at that. So that happens a lot in this game as well when there's 2 enemies. That guy is like, no, you're fighting me now. But these fat enemies here, I think these are the most vicious fuckers in the game. And they got HP for days, as you can see. I can't remember what I've already upgraded, but it doesn't really matter because you can see here, this guy is taking some serious punishment. And he's getting a London shanking as well. Better believe it. So, not the 2-head enemies. I call them the alter egos. I've not called them that yet on this playthrough, but the bigger enemies, they're called the spitters, I think. They're the ones who spit puke at you. The grey ones, they're basically alter egos from the Evil Within. They look incredibly similar. Those guys are not as dangerous as those fat enemies that I've just fought there. They are not as dangerous. Those fatter enemies, they're the ones that when I see them, I fear them because they are really dangerous. But we are selling some loot here. Oh, pardon me. Getting a bit of hand cannon ammo, a GRP. You can only sell GRP ammo, or packs I should say, for like 5 or 10 credits, I think. So it's pretty much worthless. Is that 3 credits? I'm a bit far away from my computer screen, so I can't tell. Got 1 health item, ammo, GRP. Oh, I just sold some ammo. I wonder why I did that. So what are we going to go for now? Because there's some important moments coming up. So the first upgrade, ladies and gentlemen, 300. The second upgrade, 900. And the last upgrade, 2,700. On Contagion and Hardcore, with nearly every upgrade, you're going to struggle to get to the last upgrade path because you're just not going to get that many credits. I think we went for the battery. Yeah, we did. So the battery of the GRP has been improved quite simply. We can use it more now. It's still very limited, and I'm not 100% sure. If you have a look on the back of our neck, that tiny little blue spot is the amount of usages we've got of the GRP. Sometimes it runs out and you don't realise it, and you know, I've criticised this game for how clunky and mechanical it is. And people always say, well, you're in a spacesuit, it suits survival horror, yada yada yada. Dead Space 2 didn't feel clunky. It feels smooth as fuck, yet it's a survival horror game. And it's a colossal masterpiece. The jank, don't justify the jank, people. Don't justify it. It's not needed. I'm not having it. But, yeah, there's a lot of times in this game where you use the GRP, you're trying to throw enemies into the spikes, they'll hit the side of the spikes and won't quite go... Oh, ladies and gentlemen, shoot that. You hear that noise? It means you have killed a phallic monster. Those guys are the phallic monsters. They will attack you, they'll launch themselves at you, and you've got to mash the Y button or triangle on the PlayStation. They deal bad damage. They are annoying as fuck, and holy shit, what the hell? Shooting him didn't work, though. So that's not guaranteed to work. Okay. I mean, the enemies, obviously, are pretty predictable, so... Maybe just... Well, they're not predictable. The thing is with this game, right... Me thinking like freaking Albert Einstein with this game's AI and gameplay when it's incredibly simplistic. Well, if he comes out of that vent and I wait to dodge, you could go into a QTE. That's the thing. And then you're on the defensive then and you're getting flustered. That's why I like to try and put things in my own hands and attack them. Like that. And you can see there it worked. But we've got an alter ego coming up, or is it 2 alter egos? I can't remember. There's another one. You've got to shoot them, ladies and gentlemen. Even when you mash the Y button, I do think you take damage from them. And if you forget they're there, oh my god. They're just annoying. There's no justification. There's not. So, yep. There's always justification for that, though. Because it feels good. No. Okay, shitloads of ammo and a pristine energy converter. But there's an explosive down here. And you can, using that explosive, kill the 2 grunt enemies. I've done it before, but the pathing of the 2 normal enemies, they're both crossing each other at the same time. One's going, yeah, you see them there in the background, they're both going the opposite direction to each other. So the timing has to be spot on. And quite simply it wasn't, and it isn't here. Now I've obviously improved the GRP, how many times I can use it, but if you've not, you're really not going to have long to get them into the spikes here. And look, I think that killed one of them, but not 2. You're probably best not doing that, but there he is. He's now in the spikes. The big guy, another alter ego, has entered proceedings. I've reloaded. I've got a normal grunt enemy in the spikes. And I don't... Yeah, I think I know what's going to happen here. Yeah, there you go. It's run out. So as you can see, that's what happens if it runs out. It happens a lot in this game. And I think I was going to go on a tangent of talking about how... It's obviously very immersive. It's just like Dead Space, this game. There's no heads-up display, really. But I think with a GRP, it would have been better if, instead of the way that it is, if you had like 3 blue spots at the bottom of the screen somewhere, and you used it once and it went down to 2. You used it twice and it went down to 1. And obviously if you upgraded it, you get more blue spots. So you knew exactly where you stood. Because with this game, as you just saw there, I tried to get the big guy, the alter ego as I'm calling him, into the spikes, and you just drop them straight away. It happens a lot in this game. It's frustrating, and you can die because of it. And I think it uses more GRP when you're picking up a bigger enemy. I guess it figures, doesn't it? I can't even remember in this game, though, because obviously I've just used the GRP to grab the loot crate. But they're explosives. If you keep a explosive or something like that in your hand, and you're hovering it, and it's making that noise to let you know that you're doing so, I don't know if that uses you up your GRP. I should know that. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the fights in this game go okay. Some parts have gone better before. Some parts go really badly. There's a part with the dome where there's... Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I think they're called Stalkers. What game these days doesn't have an enemy called Stalkers? There's the... What's it called? It's not this. It's a skunk gun. It's like a double-barrel shotgun. You get a riot gun later. You've got to spend money. You've got to spend credits to get that gun. Honestly, you might think the more guns, the better. I personally think you are better off not spending credits on the gun. The way that the drops work on this game, You are giving the game a better RNG chance of dropping the skunk gun ammo as well. But honestly, I would say don't bother. If it is your first playthrough on one of the easier difficulties though, whether it's easy, normal or hard, then you get more credits. Maybe, yeah, try all the guns. But the fact of the matter is, the gunplay in this game, it's not very satisfying. It's not a shooter, is it? It's not a shooter, you know? You've got your normal hand cannon, which is your normal pistol. A tactical pistol, when there's nothing tactical about it. It looks like a little magnum, but it's very weak. You get the assault rifle, which holds a lot more ammo. It looks kind of cool. The riot gun looks cool. It's your shotgun. Enjoy. And the skunk gun's a double barrel shotgun, basically, but in space. There's 5 guns, but honestly, I think having 3 guns would have been fine with this game because the gunplay is just not up to much at all. But we're almost at the shoot. Isn't it a fine thing?
Elias, I'm in the elevator. I see the chute. Elias, you there?
Bruv. So I'll be using a YouTube short, ladies and gentlemen. Just last week I uploaded a YouTube short and then realised that if you're going to use a YouTube short or upload one, you need to have YouTube Studio on your mobile phone. A lot of issues that are happening with technology, I figured it out. I totally figured it out. I've been having issues with my Spotify recently. A lot of the issues that are happening are because there's this amalgamation of desktop and mobile. So the same service you get on both, and if you use it on both, they both work differently, and there's errors because of that. Trust me, I've seen it. Anyway, what are we upgrading here? I think the recharge, if I go for that, I can't remember what I upgraded. Sometimes when I narrate, it's ooh, that's interesting. It's weeks since I last played the game or whatever, but here I completed this yesterday, so this earlier footage was probably a couple of days ago, like 3 or 4 maybe. But I've gone for the baton damage. We've already got the arm breaker, haven't we? Yeah. But the GRP would have been fine there. I think that upgrade that I just went for there. Shut up, Elias, you dickhead. Is 200. I think that might be for a little bit of stability. You know, we barely got any credits. But honestly, feel free to go for the recharge of the GRP. There's a break there, a stoppage, because I stopped the video. Reason being, my footage, it crashes after every 30 minutes or so, or just over 30 minutes. So I've got to stop every video after 30 minutes when I record. Long story, it's because of Elgato software. Now, the thing is with this game, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we've got the alter egos, as I call them here. The pukers. I'm going to keep calling them alter egos. I dropped them into the abyss. That's absolutely fine. This is a very dangerous moment with 3 enemies, 2 of them being the bigger guys. If you don't drop them into the abyss, though, you're going to get some good loot, so just remember that. Maybe keep one of them alive. But I just decided I'm not fucking with them. So, the engine room. We're going to call it the engine room. Just like Dead Space, Chapter 4, the engine room. This is one of the most dangerous rooms in the game. The guy, I can't even speak of how impressive it was. The guy who did the walkthrough for Contagion, I can't remember his name. I only watched it yesterday, the video. He's got cojones of steel. I am scared to go near the machinery here because obviously if you get touched once, you are dead immediately. And his strats were very, very impressive. Mine are not so impressive. But we're going to watch how it goes down. What I would say is you might feel safer away from the machinery up here, but you're going to have to get involved with the nitty-gritty. You're going to have to get relatively close to all the machinery because you're going to want to launch these fuckers in. And doing it from up here, it's tough because of the game's jank. You'll be launching them against the wall. Enemies hit the head on roofs on this game when you're trying to launch them into spikes and shit. So I think this is one of the best places to be. Nitty-gritty, get involved, and launch motherfuckers in. Now, obviously, you've got different kinds of enemies. You've got grunt enemies, you've got fatter enemies, you've got alter egos. I can't remember... Oh, look at that. That happens a lot in this game. You've got the officer enemies as well. I can't remember how they differ from the normal grunt enemies, but... I used to think here, like, look, these guys. Now, I'm not choosing to throw them in because I'm thinking to myself, it's going to use up more GRP if I do, and I'm going to try and save it, so I'm just smashing this guy. We're nowhere near the machinery. I'm happy. But here's one of the fatter guys, and look at that. What is that? Get in there, you dickhead. I tell you something, this looks smoother than it felt when I played, or do play the game on console. Because with all this moving machinery, the frame rate does get tanked a little bit. Normal grunt enemy, he's going in. Oh my days. And, yeah. At the time, I didn't know what happened with that guy, and I still don't. Did I yeet him out of the area or something? But now I know I've used up a lot of GRP. I think I might have one more usage of it. I know there's probably about 3 or 4 enemies left. I've stopped him with a gun. We're smashing the fuck out of him. Look at that, he's dead, but there's another guy there. Oh, what the... Yeah, I asked for that. I asked for that. Oh, nice, okay. How are you alive, sir? I think this guy might be the last one. I'm using that technique again. You can't play like this on hardcore, ladies and gentlemen. Just believe me, you can't. Ooh, 2 pristines. Lovely. We're fully out of GRP. Not perfect. Look at that Dead Space reference there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, boy.
Look for the control room. You'll need to rotate the structure to reach the cell.
Off with that guy's head. And for whatever reason, the frame rate never recovers in this room. In fact, once the machinery stops, it gets worse. The most bizarre of things, it gets worse. Ooh, what have we got there? Pristine again. I think that door there, if you go out and there's a reforge in the next room, I think it locks behind you. So just be careful and aware of that. I might be wrong. I don't fully know. There's a guy on the floor here. Press left or right and dodge the same way you would if an enemy is standing. It'll be absolutely fine. Now, I would recommend dodging first against enemies on the floor instead of attacking first. More pristine. Coming to the end of the chapter now, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, I know there's a few more dangerous parts to come, but I was relieved when we got past the engine room because it's one of the tougher ones in the game.
Please make a selection.
Power room, engine room. It's all good. But look at this here. Selling credits and getting up to beyond 300, 400, 500. You're playing easy, normal, hard. You're going to be close to 1,000 credits there. I do like that about this game, the fact that the upgrades don't go as far on harder difficulties. And I think I'm just deciding to keep this last health injector. Yeah, the door does lock behind you. That's bullshit. Oh, no, it doesn't. That one's open.
UGC printing for all your needs.
So what are we doing here? If I sell a health... Oh, okay. I should have done that before that room, ladies and gentlemen. The recharge would have been great there. The guy who did that fantastic walkthrough, he actually explains how long it takes for the GRP to recharge. And he was also telling people that if you want to, if there's a safe room, just sit there and chill and wait for it to recharge. I mean, you can, but I can't be bothered.
Now get to the control panel so you can open that cell. On my way.
So this area is interesting. Something very funny happens here. Do you remember me telling you guys a few minutes ago that the alter egos, the spitters, that guy in the distance, he there, it's RNG. He could be facing you or walking away from you as you go down the elevator. It depends where he is on his pathing. So what that means is I know this guy's coming and I'm just launching him off the edge, and then I'm like, right, you come here, I'm going to fight you because I want his loot. I miss him because I'm a fucking idiot, but we know that by now. But the most important thing here is that I'm engaging in combat. I'm thinking, I want your loot, sir, and that is why I'm fighting you. Definitely 1,000,000% do that with this guy on hardcore. However, whatever you do, don't knock him off. There's a bit of pause rage, ladies and gentlemen. We just knocked him off, and we've lost his loot. Oh my days. Yeah. I don't think many people do what I do in regards to shooting first, but it's like I keep saying, you're lowering the enemy's HP and then getting the first hit in instead of just dodging. If there's space between you and the enemy, it's just one singular enemy, they're not going to surprise you, they're just going to attack you, but I do like to do that, probably a bit too much. I would definitely struggle playing this game again on hardcore, which I might never do because I do not find it fun.
Which means I can get on the tram, but you can't.
Figures.
Look, it's okay. I need you to go to waste processing, alright? Contact me once you're there.
Data transfer complete.
Wait, what the hell is that?
It's just a little something to help you out.
Trust in the plan, yeah? Because on this game, I might think to myself, oh, I'll play hardcore and I'll get better at the game the more I play it, but there's not much leeway with this game's combat. It kind of is what it is. There's not different ways of doing things overall. It takes a bit of time to get out of there. I think the game's loading, obviously. All this crawling through vents and stuff, it is hiding loading, but Jesus Christ, there's too much of it. We're back in one again. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of evil within inspiration here. Glenn's a big fan. I know he is. A Shinji who isn't. We've got this absolutely farcical and ludicrous trap coming up, which apparently stops inmates from escaping. It's these big grinders, and if you step on this like pressure plate, they come towards you. And of course, enemies spawn, and it's very funny and silly. I just like in a realistic kind of space environment like this, there's this otherworldly trap which is just perverse and ridiculous. I do like it. But it's nerve-wracking, but it's not one of the parts I was so nervous about. But if you mess it up, you can die immediately. We have upgraded the GRP twice now, one on the recharge and one on the maximum. Oh shit, son. Now, I found out that from that message cropping up there, cropping up, whatever, showing up, you get 1 hour on the Series X before the battery runs out. The game will pause when the battery runs out, which is nice, isn't it? Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. What are you doing, game? What are you doing, game? Oh, no, I don't think so. Just be ready to shoot that, because if that gets you, you're going to take a lot of damage. And on the harder difficulties, you might have no ammo. I mentioned this part before. And now, we get the little crawling enemies. I don't know what they're called. They are shit. I despise them. And as you can see, that guy gets me. Okay, look at the damage he's done. Look at the damage he's done. You might not even have any GRP left here. Throw them away. It's better than shooting them. But that first one, I don't know how you avoid it. Oh, nice. Okay, there's another one. Because there's loads of these little pods in the game. Bit of pause rage. Look at my health. That shouldn't hurt you so much. You know, Dead Space showed us and educated us that the smaller enemies cannot be taken for granted. You know, the crawlers. But the reason that those enemies, yes, they were annoying, but the reason you respected them is because they worked in packs. I mean, Christ, there must have been like 15 to 20 of them. And you realise, oh, I've got to use the time mine, I've got to use the flamethrower, I've got to use the force gun. But with these enemies, they're just shit. They're shit. Ugh. And the game does that a few more times later on, where I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what the game wants me to do. There's no crowd control weapon on this game or something that I can use to really help myself. Get shot on, you dickhead. But, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned earlier the robot encounter. Here it is. Ain't gonna lie, on Contagion, it's a bit nerve-wracking. I was confident here that things would go okay, but my first playthrough, I was shitting it a lot more. You do seem to be safe to fight this guy and even use your gun, but I think I don't. If you see here, I'm not using my gun just in case. You can see the robot's light in the distance. And also, though, you need to save your ammo before this fight, so just be wary, because I don't think I have gone into my inventory to check how much ammo I've got. The game will always give you hand cannon ammo before this fight, I do believe. But I couldn't remember how much, and it turns out that it's free. And in my head I was thinking, give me 3 bullets at least, please give me 3 bullets. And it gives me 3 bullets. I killed the robot on my last bullet. So it's hard to see because there's very little feedback, but it's hard to see when you actually get a proper headshot on this thing. But reload, I have a look, there's 6 in the GAT. I'm waiting for him to go around once more and then I'm going to make my move. The way that I do this and where I do it from, I think this is the safest, best place. I've seen a few people do it from around this corner here, but it's on a diagonal angle. I don't like that. Here, it's not on a diagonal angle. He's straight in front of you. Wait for him. Boom, boom. 2 shots, hide. Let him shoot. Come back out. Shoot, shoot. Shoot, shoot. Now, 6 bullets is quite a lot. And I did say earlier, it's like 4, 5, 6 bullets. I don't know if I missed any shots there. It didn't seem like it. I couldn't be sure. But there's a decoder. On the harder difficulties, you're going to want those credits, man. And here's a shit muncher. But let's imagine that you're trying to escape this area and this guy's fighting you and the robot's still alive. I mean, for some reason he runs away again. That's pretty funny. Ooh. But this dickhead here, he could get you killed if you've no ammo. But I'm pretty damn certain on one of my playthroughs, I just yeeted that guy out of the area and just ran on, and I survived. It is possible, but you are going to be nervous, aren't you? If the robot's alive and that guy is attacking you, he could get you killed.
Contact me when you get to the checkpoint.
3 or 4 minutes of the video left, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're at the Habitat chapter. One of the best in the game, in my opinion. I do like it, but we are going to be introduced to the shit stalker enemies.
There's a trap in there to keep inmates.
I hate them things. I hate them. They're fast, they're dangerous, they're difficult to melee. You can dodge them the exact same way as you dodge the zombie enemies, the normal 2-legged ones, but yeah, they're a piece of shit. But here's the trap. Do this exactly as I do, ladies and gentlemen. You should be fine. I'm thinking to myself here, please give me some GRP, just in case I need some more. And it does. Look, there's a GRP. Oh, but there's no... Yeah, is there no bullets? Yeah, I'm fully out of ammo. Jesus. So I know I can't fight with guns here. So I activate the pressure plate, throw him in, move away to the left. Let him get killed. Now you can get the loot from the bodies. I stamp him. There's nothing to pick up. Let it go past. Keep watching it. Move on. Press on the plate. Throw him in. Move to the left. A moment of indecision here, or a poor judgment, though, and you were dead. Love the audio in this game, man. It is fantastic. This game's audio is so good. It just sounds ominous and dangerous. So what I did there was I threw him in before it was moving, and then I moved on to the plate, and then it ended up crushing him from behind. And he couldn't get out of it. It's where... Pick up the hand cannon ammo. I'm not watching it though, but I know it's way behind me. Let it come past. One last time, activate it, move on. And I like the fact that someone spawns in there. And you can hear him get crunched. But ladies and gentlemen, we have completed Aftermath, and it's time for Habitat. The water slide. I have heard that it's random in regards to where you have to be when the blades are whirring around. I wish there was something I could say to make it easier, ladies and gentlemen. But all you can do is try and stay calm and move in the direction that if the blade, you know it's going left, go to the right. It's easier said than done. You've just got to try and concentrate and focus. And when I do the water slide at the end of the next chapter, I hit the side of one of the spikes. The spikes, it goes through your head and you're dead straight away. It's brutal. It's fucking incredible. Absolutely savage. And I hit the side of one. And you still take damage. You still take about 50% damage on this game, on this difficulty. But my heart was pounding. Like I said, I think the water slide's really good. I just hate it on Contagion. But there we have it. That chapter's done. Whew, see you for Habitat. Probably one of the best in the game. Yeah. Good shit. Habitat.